listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Hobson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Parenthood After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Parenthood After Show.
Keep you always, may your wishes all come true. May you always do for others, and others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars on every run, and may you stay forever young.
Awesome.
My mom hates it when I sing.
Well, you know what? I love it. Welcome everybody to Back to Parenthood. Awesome. Season 5, Episode 7. Speaking of baggage, I'm your host, Marisa Serafini, also running the ones and twos, and I'm doing a lot over here in the corner, so bear with me if if I just stop speaking for a second. But yes, I'm Marisa Serafini, and I'm also joined by the lovely co-host.
I'm Danica Kennedy.
And I'm Tiona Hobson.
Yes, welcome everybody. I'm so glad Parenthood is back. And so let's just get into this episode. Really fun. We see the return of Natalie, Drew's bathroom friend. And what do you think of Natalie in this episode? She was a little...
Drunk slut.
Pretty much.
I mean, I think she was kind of a college girl. Not to say that I was a drunk slut or anything, but I had some friends who were maybe drunk sluts. And, you know, it's freshman year. It's still early in the school year. You know, you don't really want to be tied down. It's, you know, go around and you have a little fun.
I went to college up at San Francisco State, so I'd always go to UC Berkeley, where Drew goes to school on the show, even though it films here. But that's not very far off from college girls. I mean, you have your hookup bang buddy sometimes, but I feel like they should have communicated and made that clearer in the beginning than awkwardly trying to run away from each other. Well, she was kind of weird about it.
She was drunk at first. She doesn't seem like she was aware of her actions or what she was doing. Drew obviously was, because he was stone cold sober. But Natalie, the important thing with Drew, like, he's so, again, we say this every episode, he's so kind and sensitive. Then he'll take things seriously, and then Natalie just being this confused, drunk, typical, maybe not typical, but just the college girl going through and wants to be friends with Benny, pretty much.
Yeah.
Drew's not really liking that.
Drew's not the kind of guy who can do that, or at least we haven't seen him be able to do that. So I feel like his sister or someone should just sit him down and be like, hey, bud, let's have real talk. You and me time, bud, okay? You're in college now, and, you know, just don't try and jump into a relationship with the next girl because you don't have the best of luck with it. So, Matt, try out, you know, dip your toes in the water, hook up with a couple girls, have some fun with it, and see where it goes. I feel like he needs someone to have that talk with him so that he can stop getting butthurt over, you know, girls just wanting to be friends with Bennies.
I think he's a little too sensitive and emotional at times. Like, I know that they just hooked up, but the next morning when she's like, "Oh, I'm so hungover and I need to go shower," and she was kind of being rude to him.
She was.
But
not kind of, she was.
She was being straight up rude, but I feel like he looked like he was a puppy dog that just got shot, and he needs to man up a little bit because things like that will happen with girls and relationships in general. You're gonna have a one-night thing here and there or make out, and you're not gonna see the person again. This case, they are seeing each other again.
So college.
It is so college. It's pretty normal considering the circumstances.
That's the norm.
Yeah, and Drew, I feel bad for him, but I don't, because I know he's a guy, so when she shows up at his dorm room and she's drunk and, like, trying to make a move, and he's like, wait, you're kind of drunk, and then she, like, you know, makes the move again. he's still sober. He could have stopped it and been like, hey, wait, like, I don't want to do
he's a
this
guy.
like this, but he's a guy at the same time.
Guys don't do that.
So he's, of course, going to go with it. Not to say that all guys would just go with it. But, I mean, that just is the more proof that he's so sensitive, you know, that now he, like, thinks it was something when instead of that mentality of this girl's drunk, she might not remember this tomorrow, but I'm going to enjoy our night together here now and just...
And the thing is, like, the first time she does it, Natalie goes to Drew drunk the first time. And then the second time, after they clearly had the conversation that Natalie was like, I hope you know this doesn't really mean anything, and that it's not what you think it should be. And then Drew still gives into it the second time. After he just realized that, oh, this isn't really going anywhere, he still gives in.
She made it clear, though.
I kind of felt like the second time he was kind of trying it out of being like, oh, let me stop talking. Like, I get it now. It clicked. Oh, this is a hookup buddy or friends with benefit. I don't think he's ever had it before, so he didn't know what to expect. But now that she's said, hey, we're just having fun. We're just doing this thing. It's nothing serious. You don't want a relationship. I don't want a relationship. So now he can go into it hopefully with a more open mind, even though we all know that he's in love with her.
She made it clear though that she
wouldn't
didn't
say
want a
in love, but
relationship.
definitely
In Drew love with her.
She was trying to get away from him quick when they ran into each other in that hallway scene. Like, he was kind of waiting for her with his earbuds, like, awkward.
Typical. I was like,
And, I accidentally ran into you. Oh, what a coincidence.
Fancy seeing you here.
And she had to run off to class, which
I feel
no one's
like
in that big of a hurry.
We've all done that, though. We just we're waiting for that one person we want to talk to.
Oh, yeah. I used to know my crush's class schedule.
Oh, yeah. I would walk out of my way to walk by my crush in high school. Like, go the opposite direction of where I need to go to accidentally walk by them at the exact moment. Am I a stalker? Is that weird?
It is low-key stalking, but it's okay.
It's okay. It's a long time ago.
It's non-violent stalking.
It's college. It's college.
It happens.
But yeah, and Natalie doesn't seem into it, and even at the luncheonette,
Yeah,
she
brought
brought
up with
a
she
her
brought
friends.
friends. That's
I mean, not like just one girlfriend. Like, oh, hey, here's my friend. She had like 7
she had a
people
whole
with her.
group.
Yeah.
How'd they all fit in one car?
I mean, and I get it. It's kind of like it was an open event, and Drew didn't really specify, oh, I just wanted you to come.
Yeah.
But the fact that she did bring more people just shows that she's really not into it.
Well, even if you want to bring someone because you want to make it clear that you're not in a relationship or going down that path, you usually just bring one friend or two with you, not the whole social gang.
I feel like she's very, because I mean it's Berkeley, she's doesn't want to be tied down. I feel like she's gonna be the one to be very like experimental and she's kind of a free spirit where she might get Drew into like some kinky stuff, maybe with like some other girls and joining a party or something.
Spice up
I
Drew's
just
life.
could see her being the type who says, "Oh, I don't want a relationship. I don't want this. I don't want that. Let's just hook up and have fun." But then at the same time, I could see her experimenting with lesbianism.
So she's just going to open
again,
up Drew's world.
that's
and
college.
mind.
Yeah, and you know that's college. So I think she could really open Drew up and like help him.
Help him break out of that
break
shell.
out of that shell and just become, help him in his journey.
Happens. I want to see Drew at some frat parties or something at Berkeley, like some college party scene.
I want to see Drew, like really break down, like completely out of character, go buck wild, because that's so not him. But I think we need to see that side of him to prove that yes, he's in college, he's really enjoying stuff, he's really trying to find himself.
Yeah, Drew, get drunk, get high, go have fun, like relax. Don't be the
He's
awkward
such a
wallflower,
good kid.
Break out of that shell and loosen up, live life a little bit so that you have those experiences.
Him and Amber are so polar opposite in that way socially. She is so social at the luncheonette. She's hugging all the drummers and running around like crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, well, you know what? Let's talk about that now. So Amber has the great idea because they're at the luncheonette having this recording studio session with Ashes of Rome.
Yeah, that was.
They're not feeling it. The drummer's being a diva once again, saying, I don't know, there's no creativity, the energy's not there. Amber has the brilliant idea. Hey, what if they perform live in front of an audience? And I can understand having an audience will fuel that
Yeah, that
energy, get the creative
performer.
juices going, get the performance out that they're having a hard time finding. So Adam and Crosby agree to it, and then they throw this get together recording session.
Can
with
I just
audience.
say,
Are you talking about the hot guy?
that
hot guy.
drummer.
That drummer was
That
making
drummer. Whew.
was making eyes at
Oh,
Amber.
yeah.
What do you think
And
of
she
that?
was
Ooh,
hugging
and she
him
was-
back. She was
she was
enjoying
She's
it.
very
Handsy.
touchy.
Very handsy.
Very
Yeah.
handsy.
Do we like this drummer? Do you think he's gonna add a little bit of tension between Ryan, because Ryan saw
Yes.
a lot of
Ryan
that.
saw it, but I was very proud of the way he was acting because I kept waiting for him to overreact to it and start a fight
Get
in there.
violent.
And we're seeing, that he's not that guy anymore, at least so far. But I don't want them to make it a thing because we already kind of have that going on right now with Ed and Julia. So I don't think that they should have, the same thing kind of happening in two relationships in the family at the same time.
But they're definitely
But
making
they're
us think.
they're definitely making us think about it because I was like, oh, hello drummer, hello Amber. Okay, I like this, but wait, no, I love Ryan.
Yeah,
So,
we all love
Yeah,
Ryan.
so-
And the thing is, like, Amber's such an affectionate person,
mhm.
and she's very an emotional person, and she's so nice and kind to everyone. I'm like, oh, Amber, just draw back your hand a little bit. You're making me uncomfortable. I mean, like, I get it. You're really open and friendly, but you're just a little too friendly.
Yeah, and the music biz, it's full of guys, and she's around guys all the time, and it can easily be misconstrued when you're that friendly of a person, into if people,
Flirting.
flirting when you don't even mean to be.
But
And
the drummer meant to be, 'cause
Oh, yeah, the
he was
drummer.
definitely flirting and praising Amber, be like, oh, everyone needs
I
an
don't
Amber.
think she minded though, because he was pretty hot.
I mean,
Pretty
if he
cute.
wanted to come into my life, I wouldn't be
You wouldn't
opposed
object
to
to
it.
that.
No, not at all.
Well, Ryan, I mean, we all really like him, but I just want him and Drew to have fun. Like, just pull the sticks out of their asses, like let loose a little bit and have some fun. Because in the party, when all their friends are there for the recording,
Mhm.
he's just in the corner in this button-up shirt, like so stiff and awkward, while everyone else is mingling and having a good time. And I just want to see him have a little bit more fun because Amber's she kind of has that Camille free spirit in her, just like her mom. And I feel like he's so serious. But I guess that kind of balances out.
Yeah, they
In a
kind of
way.
balance each other.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that Ryan was the bigger man in this picture. And it just goes to show how much he's grown as a person, that he's more secure about himself to not get angry and not get worked up about
Yeah.
someone else showing affection towards his girl. And he likes Amber so much, he officially put a ring on it.
Yay, which is what she wanted, because we saw earlier how Kristina was telling the story about how when she just got proposed to, and
Which was
And
a
she just
beautiful
knew.
story.
Really
and we knew
romantic.
that Amber kind of, because when Ryan
she didn't
proposed,
have a story.
it
Yeah,
wasn't
she didn't
like
really have a
that,
story.
and we obviously wanted, like, Amber wanted that, and then, but we did kind of get that romantic side.
And
Tiana,
so-
you didn't look too.
Well, I mean, because this is what Amber wanted, but then she didn't really act like it's what she wanted. So I don't really think I think that she took from her conversation with Kristina as, Kristina talked about, like, when you know, and there's not a day that goes by that I've regretted this decision. And Amber's whole thing when she started crying, I kind of took it as, maybe my mom was kind of right. Like, how do I don't have that same feeling that Kristina has. And when Ryan reproposes, she never said yes.
Exactly.
He just let that yes be implied because she said yes the first time. She never said yes to the second proposal. She was like, no, you can't afford this. No, like, take it off. No, get it away. And you could see, I took it as, her freaking out. Like, I don't know if this is really what I want anymore.
I felt like I only noticed that once the hot guy showed up in the episode, the hot drummer. I was like, she doesn't seem as into it now, and now that they're having the conversations about when it's right and everything. And she got the ring that she wanted, the big fancy proposal, and she was still like, oh, I don't want to take this much money, and kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's
very
so indecisive,
Yeah,
just like
she's
her mom.
very back and forth, but we do see tonight that Amber talks to Ryan, be like, I talked to my mom. We're both on the same page. We have her support. She wants to be a part of this. We shouldn't elope anymore. And Ryan, being that nice gentleman, he's okay with it too, going, changing your mind again. But it does show that even though Amber was hesitant to an expensive engagement ring, her heart is still in. She still wants to get married.
I don't know, guys. I kind of.
You think she's gonna
I
pull
see
out
her.
the wedding?
I see her doubting. Right now. I see her doubting right now, and I don't know if it's just a fluke, but after just hearing Kristina's story and just that gut feeling of when you know, and then her not really having that, because when he was reproposing, I was like, this is gonna be the moment when she feels that feeling that Kristina was talking about, and so she's gonna know it's right, and instead she kind of pushed it away and was hesitant towards it. So I took that as meaning more of the opposite of Kristina's feelings when she got proposed to.
That's why this show's so great, though, because you're supposed to feel certain ways in all these different situations, but in real life, you don't feel how you're supposed to about things. Like, just how Crosby wasn't in love with his new baby once it was born, just like how people get cold feet when they're engaged right before the wedding. And I think that's why the show's so relatable and good.
And she's so bipolar about the wedding, guys.
She's very back and forth, yeah.
Where do you think it's going to end up if it does end up happening?
Okay.
The lake, the house?
They might get into early predictions, but definitely a season finale marriage proposal. We had the whole marriage of Amber and Ryan. It's going to have its ups and downs, because it wouldn't be interesting if it didn't. But I think for a finale, we'll definitely see a wedding.
And you know what? They owe us a wedding because Sarah and what's-his-face never got married.
Oh,
the teacher man.
Right.
I really liked them together.
I did too. And since they didn't get married, they owe us a wedding.
Well, I think that there's going to be a lot of ups and downs with their relationship too, because the whole Bob Little situation with the campaign, because Amber's involved with the whole Bob Little campaign stuff that's going to come out while she's planning her wedding. So we know that's going to have some effect.
Yeah.
I'm glad they took a backseat on the campaign tonight.
Yeah.
I think next week is going to be about it looks like.
Yeah, because we see Kristina be like, oh, I'm busy with this campaign, but that was it. We didn't really dive into her.
It's kind of a nice break.
Because, exactly. It was a nice palate cleanser, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so Amber and Ryan, they're officially engaged. He put a ring on it. Sarah's on board. Speaking of Sarah, she and Hank, they're kind of figuring out their relationship, too, because that's a lot of back and forth. Lots of baggage. Speaking of baggage.
Does anyone else feel bad for Hank?
Because he has no friends besides Max?
No, because this family, every nice thing he tries to do for Max, they come back and are like, well, I mean, it's great that you're letting him hang out here, but blah, 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 blah.
Don't be obsessed with my sister.
Yeah, don't do this, don't do that, don't. And he's like, I mean, he's asking me 50 million questions and, I let something slip. He's still doing you guys the favor here. So I just feel bad for Hank because...
But, I do feel bad a little bit, but Sarah was right being like, well, you don't have to give 20 answers. You are an adult. You should know the boundaries of what the normal conversations you should have from an adult to a child.
Which their conversation was about how Max was claiming that Hank had serial killer qualities. And
that
listing percentages and reasons why he was just like a serial killer for having a picture of his ex in a drawer. Ridiculous.
He fit, what was it? White, male, smart.
Smart. And it was 88% of all serial killers are smart.
And they have the intelligence IQ of 115, which is above average, which is 100. I love that because, I don't know, I'm just a nerd and I love Criminal Minds. So I was like, yeah, I could totally see the serial killer side of Hank, but whatever. But that was funny, though.
He goes back home and starts talking about it in front of the whole family, like, oh, there's a picture of...
and Max's whole conversation with Hank got misconstrued in that way, and the way Max delivers it, be like, it was this and this, and... Sarah, I don't know, it's just the way he said it made it sound like
a lot worse.
It was all Hank's accusing Sarah of having all this baggage, but it was really not as extreme.
Yeah,
as
and
it turned out to be.
that's a little bit of what I meant, like when I feel bad for him, because he says one thing to Max, and then the way Max repeats it makes it sound so horrible.
Like she has so much baggage.
that she has to then go and be like,
together.
well, what is this baggage you're talking about? And it's just this awkward conversation where he's like, that's not even. I mean, are you gonna ask for his side of what he actually said, since we all know that Max's stories are sometimes a little off from what you actually might have said.
From the reality.
Yeah.
And we can see Sarah even gets a little upset. I was like, baggage? We both had baggage.
Yeah.
It's not just me. I'm not the only guilty party and the reason why they broke up.
It's funny how everyone takes what Max says so seriously, too, when they know how he is and how he says things, that they take it so to heart anyways. But I love when Hank went to Sarah's house at the end. It was so awkward. Just explaining that he got rid of all the pictures of her so he's not a creeper stalker and that Max can come back and hang out with him. And then when he's leaving, he's like, oh, did you get your hair fixed, your teeth? And then she's like, did I get my teeth redone? Like, what are you trying to ask me? So
But again, it shows Hank's socially awkward too, and the way he says things don't come out the way that it should be portrayed as. But I just love the line how Sarah's like, well, you can just say goodbye.
And
that could have been done by a text message, phone call easily.
Yeah, be like, oh, it's nice to see you again. I'm glad we're on the same page.
But he wanted to see her, so maybe
I think
there is something there.
He just wanted to end on a nice compliment about someone's hair, and which didn't turn out that way.
He tried.
Yeah,
he tried.
He definitely tried.
failed.
Tried and failed.
Tried and failed.
So, speaking, I just want to take a quick minute. So, everyone, thank you for downloading our show on iTunes. Please rate and comment on iTunes. Go to AFTERBUZZ TV Parenthood. Rate, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Tell us what you love about the show, all these crazy Babermans. Tell us what you don't like about the show and how we can improve. Tell a friend. That's how we grow it here at AFTERBUZZ. And please comment on YouTube. You missed us last week. I was dressed up because of Halloween, but definitely watch us on YouTube because we have a lot of fun pictures as well. So yeah. So let's talk about Ed and Julia. What do you think of Ed sending all those fun photos to Julia? I get it. They're friends now, but what kind of boundaries do you think Ed's setting?
But even when my friends don't respond to my first text, I don't text them again. Because she said, like, sorry, I haven't responded to your messages. I just got all of them right now. So she wasn't replying back to his picture fun messages. If my friend doesn't text me back, I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to text them until they text me again. I don't know.
I'm like that too. Like if someone's not responding to you, you don't just keep messaging them over and over again.
But do you think those photos, I mean, they weren't graphic photos or anything, but do you think it was appropriate that Ed kept sending these photos to a friend?
Because of the nature of their relationship, I don't think it was appropriate, but I do think that it's okay if they were just friends who, both are on the parent committee, the sustainability committee. That's one thing. Our parents have to work hand in hand, and since they have to deal with their kids together, you might as well be friends with the people who your kids are hanging around, so that it makes it more pleasant for you. But the nature of their friendship is almost not bashing their spouses, but bashing their lives and like yearning for the corporate lives that they used to have, where it's turned into this kind of not bitch fest, but it's almost like that, where it's like, like
look at all these juice boxes,
king of the juice boxes,
and that's sarcasm with it.
That's what I thought. I think their relationship, because they're in the same boat right now, and just where they're at in life, they're more like bitch buddies. The friend that you just talk to vent all your problems. Because right now we don't really see a romantic relationship. We just see a venting, bitching kind of relationship, bitching to each other. I'm sorry, I keep saying bitching, but that's what it is. It's venting, saying all your problems to someone, because that is healthy. You need to speak to someone. Unfortunately, Julia's not speaking to Joel because Joel's so busy with his project that she's kind of forced to talk to Ed. And Ed has the impeccable timing of sending that one photo when Julia was in the middle of her like complete blow up, and she was just so angry. And then she got that text message at the perfect time. She actually laughed,
Yeah.
and that made her happy. And it wasn't from Joel; it was from Ed.
I think if they were just straight up friends, this would be the perfect relationship because the text and things that he's sending, they're cute and funny and they're there for each other almost like a best friend or a therapist. You know, everyone has to bitch to someone and complain and get advice from someone, you know, whether it's a best friend, mom, therapist, whoever. But we know that she has deeper feelings because we see her, you know, replaying the voicemail twice. You know that she has a crush on him, even though her husband is straight up sexy. But she's going for the class clown funny guy now. It looks like secretly.
Yeah. And, you know, she also had that, she listened to the voicemail twice. Oh, and then, like, right after she got one of his messages, isn't that when she went over to the trailer, like, that night to go,
Booty call.
you know, booty call with her husband because I think she felt guilty a little bit.
She was guilty.
Yeah, she was
there
guilty.
was that moment, there was that shot on her face where she was completely guilty. She knew what she was getting into.
Yeah, and she just keeps getting those smirks, and that's where they are. They're skirting that line of appropriate, inappropriate, but Julia keeps doing little things that are, you know, the fact that she feels guilty about it means that it's something wrong. Like, if you had nothing to hide, then you wouldn't feel guilty about your friendship with this person.
Well, she is just making her unhappy overall, too. You can see her talking to her mom about her problems, the whole Zeke and Camille traveling thing. We'll get into that, but
yeah.
There's a part where she starts tearing up talking about their relationship because she's comparing it to her own, and she just knows that she's not happy being the housewife mom.
Yeah.
Like
even when she went off on the kids, I was like, didn't she just get laid? Shouldn't she be happy now?
Yeah, she was going crazy
over like the littlest things. But I mean, I also get it. You know, it's hard to be at home with the kids all day, and your husband absolutely has no time right now because of, you know, his job. So she literally has everything on her plate, and it's not something she's used to. This isn't a life that she's used to having to take on. She's always been the one so busy with work.
Go, not just at home.
Yeah, not just at home sitting around. So I mean, she really needs to find a hobby. Maybe she can go help out Hank when Max is in school. So that would give her something to do.
Or the campaign.
Something. Yeah.
She'd be great on the campaign.
Yeah. Why isn't she working on the campaign?
I think she's just
Maybe
busy.
she should jump in.
Yeah, I think she's just busy with the kids right now.
Yeah, I mean, they had her going around passing out, you know, door-to-door stuff. But I mean,
but
like,
then she showed up on
in
Ed's door, and then she's out of the campaign after that. I mean, got a little distracted.
Slightly distracted.
Yeah, maybe. I think, you know, Julia's just, she's wears so many hats that right now she's only focusing on her family. And that's obviously kind of causing problems with her.
And she's kind of lost a little bit of herself because she doesn't have that job anymore. That, I mean, her job kind of defined her for so long that this new definition as mom is kind of, you know, it's got her in a place where she's not quite sure where she lands because she doesn't quite fit under that helmet, or she doesn't want the helmet to fit. So I think her and Ed's relationship is kind of her way of trying to find herself within this mom world. I just hope she doesn't mess up what she has with Joel because he's beautiful.
Yeah. I hope Julia can just find someone she can really talk to, because she doesn't even really trust her mom yet to even, and her and a mom, and we'll get into Camille right now, that she's trying to talk to Camille, but she can't bring it up herself that she's having problems too with Joel and Ed, but the fact that she can't tell even her mother is kind of upsetting.
Well, the ironic thing about it is that she's taking this time to dedicate to her family and to being a mother, but it's actually hurting her family even more. She's being a bitch to her kids. I mean, she's just screaming at them for having the toys out.
Yeah.
And if she was busy, like how she normally was, she wouldn't be that furious all the time. I think it makes her a worse mom being at home all the time.
It's slowly eating away at her. I mean, she's taking it on her kids, which is sad. She shouldn't. But let's get into Camille, because we saw, you know, Julia talk to Camille, but Camille is now getting prepared to go on her month trip to Italy.
So happy for her. And
Yes.
we predicted
too.
this. We
Yeah.
talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
I'm
And
gonna go with her.
Me too.
Italy's beautiful. So, yes, she's ready to go on the trip. She tells the whole family. They think Zeke is going, but he's not.
How awesome was it to see them all at the same table?
I love that.
I mean, we were missing Amber, Drew, and Ryan, and what's her name? But
Patty.
yeah, that one. But you know, the whole family was there, and it was just like, you know, everyone talking over everyone and passing food around. So just before we get into the drama of it, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge that I loved seeing that family all
I
sitting there
loved that
together.
too.
I-
They also had the table of the 4 siblings
Yes.
at one point,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
isn't that common.
Yeah.
It's not common anymore. At the beginning of Parenthood, they had a
Mhm.
lot of just the sibling moments together, but now that we know all of them,
They keep
it's rare to
duplicating.
get
Yeah.
them. Yeah, it's
Families
rare
growing.
to get just the siblings to
Yeah,
sit
so
down,
I
and
thought
they're
this-
talking about their parents too.
Yeah, I thought that was so great that we got to see, you know, that it all come back together.
So yeah, Camille's ready to leave, and Zeke is not going, which obviously concerns the kids. They get
Mhm.
together and talk about it, and Julia points out that because she's the only one that really knew what was going on with them, because she was the only one that they told. She speaks up for Camille and defends her, and says, "Well, Camille she's doing it for herself, and she needs to do that because Zeke always had it his way." And this is good for, their mom to just do it.
For the other person in the relationship. And then
Yeah,
she
exactly.
starts tearing up and is like, I have to go get sugar.
And
Have to go get sugar.
And that was the
Relates
part
to
I was
herself.
confused with, because she's so adamant about her mom having her time because she's sacrificed everything for her husband and for her kids for so long that she deserves this. So she's tearing up, and I was trying to see how it correlates to her life, but all I see is that she was the one who had everything, and now it's finally her time to sacrifice for her family and for her husband to get what he wants, but she's just over here like complaining and wanting to get back
she wants
to where
the me time again.
yeah, she wants the me time again. So I was like, how are you and Camille in the same place? I couldn't really see how she was connecting with Camille in that aspect, but I mean,
I think they connect because they both don't have connections with their
with
husbands.
their husbands right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, the connection from not being connected.
Mhm.
I think that Camille is smart to go on her own, though, which is what we find out because Adam talks to Zeke about it and was like, what's the deal? Why aren't you going to Italy? Just go on the trip. Like, just suck it up and do it. I know you like your house here and like to hang here, but just do it. It's for a month. And he confesses that he wasn't even invited.
Yeah, and the interesting thing was that when the whole family was together, they joked that, I'm sure Zeke would have loved being on the Mediterranean and whatnot, and they were talking about like Zeke would love being out and traveling about and seeing
Yeah.
places, and we haven't seen that. We were led to believe that he's completely against that, but the kids believe that he would have fun traveling.
That he would have fun in a Speedo on the beach while mom's working, and
So
I think they just want to see their dad, relaxing, because even though he's retired and has this house, he's still always working on something there. He's never just sitting still. So I think they want him to go and have fun and relax a little bit. And, they don't realize that this is his idea of relaxing, being at home and fixing everything. That is his vacation.
I
That's
think
his Speedo on the beach.
He might like vacationing, though, but he doesn't want to move, might be the thing.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he is adventurous and likes going on trips, but I think that since Camille was a little bit heartbroken that he didn't want to sell the house and saw the look on his face when they went apartment hunting last episode, I think this is kind of her outlet. Like, I can't move, so I'm just going to go to Italy by myself for a month and have fun.
And Adam did say the good line, be like, you should do this now while you can. The house will still be here.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
I'm glad he pointed that out because, yes, it is a big issue right now, but technically the house is still there. It's still grounding them. It's still a foundation to their relationship.
That's very true.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how this month away with Zeke being at home by himself and Camille being off, having this adventure, because Zeke did say a couple episodes ago, when she brought up, this is our act 3 and we should be out there exploring the world and traveling and seeing all these places. He's already done that. and he didn't want to go do it again.
Yep.
So he wants to
She
get an
hasn't.
RV and just drive, across America. And she wants to actually go explore the world, not just the country. So I think that, they'll come back and kind of have two different perspectives of life because, going abroad and seeing Italy and doing art out there is so eye-opening, and then he's going to be here learning how to take care of himself really for the first time in however many years
That's
they've
gonna
been
be
together.
funny.
So it'll be fun to see how the two come back together.
I agree. And then we see near the end of the episode, Camille finally leaves, gives a goodbye kiss to Zeke, which seems really sincere. It shows even though they are arguing and they're not on the same page, they still do love each other, and Zeke will still be there in the end. I think they'll still be together.
Yeah.
They made it almost a cliffhanger where she like got in the taxi and didn't kiss him and then got back out and kissed him.
I was like,
So
no kiss.
We're like, wait, they're
That's
not gonna hug
cold.
or kiss or
It's
anything.
like, this is a cold goodbye.
for
Oh,
a
okay.
month.
Very cold.
Now it's hot.
Yeah.
Because old people making out is so cute. That was me being sincere, not sarcastic. It came out kind of sarcastic, and I didn't mean it to be.
No, I think it is sincere, especially with that particular generation, because they're still. It's so rare to find people still together, and they're the part of the generation that are still together. And then we had the uncertainty that they might separate because they're arguing and whatnot. It's unfortunate that we think that because someone's arguing, because our relationship is not working out, we automatically think, oh, they're going to separate or
Yeah.
they're going to divorce, but not with this particular generation. So I'm glad that we see that they still really do love each other, even though they're not on the same page. And then, so Camille leaves, and Zeke is all by himself in that humongous house. First thing he does, sets off the alarm and has no idea what to do.
And earlier in the episode, they say that the alarm code is the anniversary for when they got married, and he can't remember it. He's trying to type it in.
Yeah.
Typical.
Typical guys.
Typical guys can't remember anniversary.
Nope.
So
And
sad.
but I can understand that. I mean, I grew up with an alarm system. They can be scary.
Yeah.
When like a loud alarm is going off, you can't think straight, and then you're like, oh, what's my 4-digit passcode? I can't remember it because like I don't know. It's overwhelming and it
Yeah.
scares you, and you can't. So I know what that's like, just from personal experience. But that's how we end the episode. Did we cover everything? Is there anything else about this episode that you guys liked, didn't like?
No.
I think it was kind of a refreshing episode. I felt like bringing the whole family together
Yeah.
for that one scene and kind of taking a break from the campaign was kind of like a nice palate cleanse reset for this season, which I enjoyed.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
liked this
Definitely.
episode.
I like this episode a lot.
Yes, so did I. All right, so let's get into some news and gossip.
TV news.
So Danica, I know you have some fun stuff to say.
Yeah, I was on the Universal lot going through the home of Zeke and Camille Braverman, the facades and the sets for
Our favorite
it.
home.
Love
Our
it.
favorite
love it.
home. But they had everything, all the props were pushed against the walls, and they had set decorators going through, and I got to talk to one of them for a little bit, and he was just talking about how they changed those sets with each year to year. Like a lot of sitcoms and TV shows, they just keep the same set all the time, but since it's a family that's growing, they'll just keep adding new little props and set pieces to each set throughout the seasons, and it keeps building and growing, which is unusual and kind of cool. It makes it seem even more like a real family. So I
Yeah.
wanted to share that little tidbit.
That's awesome. My question to you, because you're on the Parenthood set like almost every day of your life, and I'm so freaking envious. What is your favorite thing about any set part of Parenthood that you always love pointing out?
I really love the lighting on the show. They like all the scenes when they're inside that main house or any of the houses, they have like the cyclorama on the outside, like a big curtain that looks like the forest where they have all the different lights to make it look like the different times of day. And they do such an amazing job. Like all the times when we're watching the show in the big screening room here on the full screen, it looks like the forest is outside the windows, and it's like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
They're having their morning coffee in the kitchens, making breakfast, and you know that like nothing's cooking in there, and it's like a curtain outside with light bulbs behind it. But they just do such an amazing job with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I have some news and gossip too. Parenthood last week it aired November 1st, 2nd, whatever the date was.
October
last week.
31st.
October 31st. That's right.
like-
Thank you.
Hence
so
why
much.
we weren't here.
Yes. Yes.
Whoops.
Thank you. It was Halloween. That's right. Sorry, I can't think a week back. I can't think what tomorrow will be. But yes, last week's episode on Halloween, the ratings for that, for the 18 to 49 age division, they had 3.67 million at the 10 p.m.
On Halloween.
slot
That's
on
good.
Halloween. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then another thing, Lauren Graham was on the Craig Ferguson show a couple days ago, which was so funny. I didn't know that was happening, and I was at the gym, and I'm like, oh my god, Lauren Graham's on Craig, and so she had some funny things to say. The thing is, like, she's been on the Craig Ferguson show so many times that it's just really just a conversation
hanging out.
between friends. It's not really a
Yeah.
straight up interview. So it was one of those funny, quirky kind of interviews. She talked about bicycling with her dad through Spain, which is she talked about that on other interviews. Like I said before, she tends to repeat a lot of her stories, but it's still fun to listen to. And she talked about her book, Someday, Maybe, is being adapted into a TV series.
Oh.
I was under the impression that it was being adapted into a TV movie, but I didn't know it was a TV series. So
Oh.
that's actually pretty cool.
Did you
I'm
end
looking
up
forward to
reading her
that.
book?
Not yet. Not
Yeah,
yet.
I know you were planning on it. So
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
am. Like, I read 2 books this week, and I have to read 1 more tomorrow. But yeah, I'm eventually getting to it. I'm a busy person.
TMR.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. And then yeah, Craig said that she had cheeky eyes. It was such a weird, funny friend conversation. I love it every time.
Such a European thing to say. Cheeky eyes.
Cheeky.
Cheeky eyes.
Yeah.
This Irish accent.
And then Craig also accused her of being a hoarder. And she's like, no, I tend to be the person who likes to cleanse and like get rid of stuff. And it's a fun interview. I'm sure it's up on YouTube. The link's out, Craig Ferguson. And then I also have some pictures that I want to show. The first one, and I'll show it here. Sorry, I'm engineering people if you're listening. The first, and I definitely suggest you go to YouTube as well. The first picture we see Mae Whitman, she tweeted out on her Instagram, I guess, a picture of herself, Adam, and Crosby in the Luncheonette studio recording session. And obviously, this is from tonight's episode. They're enjoying the view that they're seeing. They're watching the band record. And then the second photo we have is just a fun picture that NBC Parenthood tweeted out. And it's the behind-the-scenes kind of fun action that goes on with all the cast. So if you're watching on YouTube and you see this photo, in the top upper left-hand corner, we have Craig T. Nelson. Then upper right-hand corner, we have Monica Potter. Lower left-hand corner, we have Erica Christensen and someone else, I guess a crew member.
Looks like maybe
Yeah.
an 80 or something.
Yeah, some crew member. And then the right corner, we have David Denman, who plays Ed.
Ed.
Oh, Ed.
Oh, Ed.
So just fun photos too that I wanted to show everyone. So I love looking at all these photos because the NBC is pretty good, and I just want to be part of their family. So and with that, let's go into some predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
All right,
I'm
Tiona.
going to go ahead and say it. I think that Amber is having second guesses about her marriage. Oh, crap. I thought that was someone outside yelling. I'm hearing noises everywhere.
You're wearing headphones. Don't
I'm wearing
worry.
headphones. It's okay. I'm saying it. I don't think she's ready for marriage. Maybe her mom was right. Maybe she's having, just second guessing it. In the preview for next week, we get more of the political stuff. Bob Little's playing dirty, and so, it's all about getting Kristina to play dirty back, but I don't think Kristina's gonna do it, just like I didn't think she was gonna take the money from that guy. I don't think she's gonna stoop down to his level, mostly because the information she has will also hurt her niece Amber. But if she does play it and it hurts her niece Amber, that could be good family drama for the show. But I don't think she'll do it.
I
And
think
those are my
there's going to be
predictions.
drama about Amber and Bob Little because they showed in the tiny sneak peek preview for next week, they showed some little thing about it might being mentioned. So I think that's going to hurt her relationship, which is already a little rocky. It seems like she's second guessing the relationship. So I think her relationship is going to go through a little roller coaster. We're just going to have to see if it's going to be able to handle it. And I think that Camille is going to come back home in a few episodes very refreshed, and I think it's going to help their relationship. I think distance makes the heart grow fonder, and everyone needs a little vacation from their family members every once in a while, especially if you've been married that long. Like, I would need a vacation too. So I'm hoping that she comes home. The house isn't a total disaster from her being gone, but I think it will help their
Yeah,
relationship.
I hope she hired someone to come in and clean up like once a week just so that she doesn't come home to a mess.
I think the
Hopefully.
children, they wouldn't let the house go crazy because they know Zeke is going to be by himself. And just being the way that they were raised, they're raised to help the parents. So they're definitely going to help out in the house. What do you think is going to happen with the campaign, Kristina? What's going to go down there?
Well, I don't think she's going to play dirty. I think that she'll make tough choices, but I think she'll also stick to being true to who she is. Because, I mean, even with the debate, you know, like she was who she is and she stuck to her guns and, you know, was just very real with everyone, and that's why people like her. So I think if she continues to be this real person, people will start to see the fake, bitter, mean person that Bob Little is.
Yeah, Bob's going to definitely stir some things around. But, yeah, great episode. I loved it. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Danica Kennedy.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
And you can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV. And we can follow everyone here at AfterBuzz on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you all for joining us for this awesome Parenthood podcast once again, and we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.